Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the little bonus episode of the podcast stuff. It's the RWBY crew. We're back!
Hey, God, why? Why?
Hi, Drew.
Hello.
How have you been?
I've been sick today. Other than that, I've been fine.
Oh, that doesn't.
It's like, yeah, it's raining knives in me, but you know, it's fine. It's Florida. We're used to this.
Oh yeah.
We're not used to cold fronts.
It's heated up here. It's nice. It's like 50 degrees right now.
I know, it's 45. I'm very happy where I am.
All the snow is gone. All of it. It's wonderful.
No, we still have half a foot in the ground.
That's all gone. I mean, besides the piles from plows.
I still can't see grass.
No,
I haven't seen grass in weeks.
Okay. So, for those that don't know, months ago at this point, we did a little RWBYcast, right as Volume 5 was about to start.
No, it was after. It was 2 weeks in. It was thoughts and theories based on how it started.
It was during the little theater premiere before.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. I consider that after release.
It wasn't even online yet.
I know, but it was aired. People saw it. It was out. I don't like that semantic bullshit. It's not on the channel, so it's not officially. Fuck you. You showed it to a crowd of people. It was released.
Semantic.
Special sneak preview.
Moving on. We did that and gave our thoughts, our predictions, what have you, as far as how the season would go. I haven't gone and listened to that episode, but I don't think any of us were right about anything.
No,
Maybe, but I think the only one that I remember, I was saying Blake was going to meet up with him last, and that was true. Second to last episode.
Yeah.
So I got one thing right. Yes.
I thought I didn't set my expectations high. You know, I thought I was playing it safe with my thoughts on the season.
Same.
Wow. I didn't realize I didn't dig deep enough. That my hole was just not deep enough to how bad this could be.
So just to preface, if you guys are looking for a positive opinion on this season of RWBY, you will not find it here. This is a forewarning. And
you have no power here.
And this is not in any way being, what's the word? It doesn't come from hate, it comes from love. We really liked this show. We liked what led up to this point for the most part.
Most part.
Yeah.
And we're sad. We are very, very sad. So this comes from sadness and love. It doesn't come
This comes from
hate.
it just comes from disappointment. Exactly.
Yes.
It comes from we have an idea of what is good, and of what this series can be when it's done really good, and we understand that it can't always be at 100%. Sometimes there has to be a dip so people can recharge batteries or whatnot. It's impossible to be 100% all the time. Unfortunately, this season of RWBY was a consistent 15%. Yeah.
So, do we
not okay? I will start this with, when it comes to the acting talent, this was the strongest season yet. Writing wise is what I have an issue with. When it comes to the voice acting, almost everybody showed drastic improvements.
Okay. I have one major... I guess we'll start with the voice acting. I have one major gripe.
What's that?
She may be the wife of the CEO, but I did not like Anna Hullum's performance as Raven.
Ditto.
I really did not.
Neither did I.
I didn't mind Raven's voice acting.
To me...
I felt that she was written shittily.
It was flat. A lot of her dialogue to me was flat.
Because it was. She kept on saying things like, I'm going to reveal the secret to you. And all she revealed was, oh yeah, Osprey gave me the ability to turn into birds.
I'm not even talking writing, in all honesty. I'm really not. I'm talking straight...
I hear what you're saying. She was flat, but the thing is, she was kind of written as this very stoic, somber, very monotoned character. That's how she was written. If you look at her dialogue, there is no way to energize her delivery, because her character is built around this idea that she is this great, shadowy character.
See,
like if you look at it, when the bandits captured Weiss, she actually showed emotion when she was laughing at the fact that they captured a Schnee. There was actual emotion in that one line, but after that, every time she's in a scene, it's this super dry, serious monologue, and she has no room.
Not even that. There are her conversations that she has with Yang where she does get emotional in that. It just, the lines did not come through to me. Even in the scenes where she is emotional. It's just...
The final scene of the season with her was really aggravating.
You can still do stoic well. Just because the character is stoic does not mean that they can, their performance will just be bad because they are stoic. You can have a good stoic character and a good stoic performance. It was not. And that's just what bugged me. She's not an actor. I'm not.
A lot of them aren't.
A lot of them aren't. So, I can, cut some slack in that regard, but still, it's hard to take her character seriously when she's, at times, acting against Vic Mignogna. Despite what you think of the person, the dude's a good actor. He's a good voice actor.
Oh, that's besides the point. That's a non-factor.
Yeah. So, even, Bernie could at times hold his own when he's acting against Vic. But just Anna Hullum didn't really do it. And, some of her super emotional scenes with Yang did not feel anything. A performance should evoke emotion in me, and it did not.
It did not.
And that was my main gripe for a lot of the voice acting. They had some pretty good... actors come in. The Lionheart, I believe, is Bakugo's actor?
Yeah, it is.
If I'm not mistaken.
I forget his name.
Clifford, I know, is his first name. But, yeah, they had a solid, different pool of actors that have come in and did stuff. They had Monica Rial come in, who, for a character that looked really cool, but then they killed in 2 minutes.
Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. That is one of the biggest sins of the season.
Yes. You want to go, or should I?
No, please. I've already talked enough.
Do we want to go episode by episode, is my question.
Fuck that. No. Because it would literally be here all night. Every episode has so many goddamn sins. Let's just focus on what really stood out to us.
Okay.
Yeah, not to mention for me, it's really hard to remember anything from this volume, so that should give you some.
I mean, you
Idea.
almost just dropped the whole thing midway.
I almost did, but I kept
Like-
giving it a shot.
I mean, and so I guess that says enough right there. It was competent enough to keep us coming back, but it wasn't good enough to make us
Oh
happy.
no, I don't give it that at all.
don't?
I felt it was homework. That's how I felt watching
Yep.
this volume.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. It did kind of feel like Naruto, didn't it?
Yes.
Okay, Drew.
Okay. I often get in debates with people over SiennaCon and how just people's reaction to the character. And other than an exposition dump, which should have been spread out through the entire volume, they didn't. They just have her there, rush her backstory, the little there was, or the little we're told, and Adam, just out of the blue, kills her. Like, we don't even see him how he orchestrated her assassination. We don't see how he was able to sway people over to his side. We're just told, oh, people admire him. Really? Why? Besides the Weiss train, what has he accomplished? What? We haven't seen him earn any of the loyalty from the White Fang, which is countered when you go into the later episodes. Like, okay, he messed up on one mission, and now everyone's like, oh, okay, that Adam guy, fuck him. So, yeah, so Monica Rial, this is something I don't understand. When people tell me, oh, RWBY doesn't have the budget or any of this other stuff, okay, why did you pay Ann Lee, who's living in Taiwan, to design this character to stand out amongst the crowd? Why did you get a big name voice actress, Monica Rial, to voice her, only to what? Have her on screen for 5 minutes and double down on Adam being a psychotic killer type ex-boyfriend who's I don't know.
Who's been blue balled is what you're going.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like.
Yes, because
it couldn't. That's pretty accurate, though.
it is. You could have done so much with Sienna and Adam's relationship. You could have shown maybe the backstory on how Sienna was instrumental in Adam becoming more and more violent. You could have shown that throughout this whole volume, that middle space that felt like nothing was accomplished. You could have done Adam and Sienna's history together throughout that volume, but they didn't. And I don't know why.
It's because we had to get more scenes of RWBY and them cooking, and drinking coffee on the veranda, and training.
Well, no, see,
and
hold on.
Crow walking around the town.
Hold on. I don't mind those scenes.
Normally I'd agree.
If this was a full-length type of show and a full-length season, like 21.5-minute episodes or whatever
The finale, they were
half
all
hour.
the size of the finale. It would be a big deal.
all the half-hour episode type shows.
Yep.
And if it was, 14 episodes is more than normal, and like a lot of anime seasons are now 12 episodes, something like that.
12, 12. The
12.
special ones being 24. Yeah.
Yes. RWBY at this point is going towards special category as far as its popularity. So, if they had full-length episodes, yes, you can have those scenes. Just because I enjoy characters just being their characters and hanging out and doing stuff. That's fine. But you gotta get snappy with like the rest of the exposition and stuff.
Yeah, you've got a very small window to deliver the information that you're trying to portray with this season. You need to utilize your time in the best way possible to make us care about the characters, the villains, and the plot going forward. Like, for instance, I literally felt nothing, absolutely nothing, when the relic was shown off. Nothing. There was no build up for it.
None.
See, that's
There was like, oh, we have to We have to grab the relic. Yeah, we have to get we have to have the maiden. We have to have the relic. Why? Oh, it's the relic of wisdom. What does it do?
That's
Anyone
the
tell
thing.
me?
That's the thing too. I don't know.
Nobody knows.
Is it like
That's
the Triforce?
great. We need this thing. Don't care why.
It'll have sealing powers if it's like the Triforce. But I remember when Yang walked into that room, and I remember thinking to myself, I'm like, if I cared and was more invested and knew more about this, this would be a really cool scene. The design and everything, the art in it.
It was sweet.
Was beautiful, but I just felt nothing, and it saddened me.
Yeah,
Pretty
it did, and especially since it followed that horrendous attempt at an emotional scene. I mean,
the sad part is
that,
he's done that twice with Raven and Yang.
Yeah, it was so ham-fisted. I appreciate the idea behind that scene. It's like, sure, show that Raven has an actual heart, that she's not a robot just surviving off base instinct. She knows that she's doing is wrong. Sure, show that kind of character growth. But the fact is that the way it was done and the way it was written was so, I'm talking god-awful. That conversation was so fractured. There was not a memorable moment in it.
No. The only thing I remember was me questioning, is her missing her arm symbolizing something? And I don't think it has or means anything. That's all I remember. Everyone was like, oh, is Yang gonna fight Raven next? I'm like, no, she's missing an arm. And we've seen hints throughout this volume that Raven does care about Yang to a degree. So Raven's not gonna fight Yang unless Yang pushes her.
Yeah. No, and apparently, Yang crying, it makes Raven cry. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Don't know. Okay, Yang's been spending years looking for her mother. She was in front of her twice. That led nowhere. Just Raven making vague hints after explaining how Ozpin keeps secrets from all of them. And she...
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm just angry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, it's just, you brought up the biggest sin of the season just now.
The vague...
Ozpin.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, it wasn't this big of a sin until Raven had dialogue. Then it's, you don't know what a monster Ozpin is. He turned me into a bird. And then we're like, but wait. He's not a monster for being a literal leech soul? Like, this man is fucking Harbinger from Mass Effect. He is assuming direct control. And he's not a monster for being a living virus? Are you kidding?
He's not a monster for having kids fight his battles twice? One with Stark and now RWBY and crew?
We're supposed to believe that Ozpin is this great, this great force, this ancient wizard gone, teacher, king, whatever the fuck he's been throughout time. And, we're showing that, oh, he's such an evil lying thing. He made me into a bird. Meanwhile, Oscar's sitting there like, I liked being a farmer.
I questioned the whole bird thing because Yang and RWBY have known Crow for their entire lives, and he seems fine. Not to mention they didn't care about Raven. So
Wait till we find out that his alcoholism is because he can turn into a bird.
Yeah.
I can turn into a bird! Slam shot!
You did this to me!
I found him! I will get my revenge!
That was probably the one shining moment I can remember from the season now, that I did it!
I found him! Plop.
Drunk Crow's best crow.
That was without a doubt Vicky Boy channeling his inner Rick Sanchez, because that is all I got from that scene was he was being Rick,
Yeah,
and I loved it to death.
I know.
And I wasn't the only one, because I'm pretty sure we've all seen it by now, but there has been an infinite Rick and Morty fan art because of that scene.
Oh yeah.
So
Okay.
you have
Mike,
a
you wanna
list.
go?
You have a list, don't you? I have one main problem, but I kind of want to save that to the end.
All right. So, well, that was interesting.
Sorry, I apologize to everybody. My roommate is cooking dinner apparently, so I'm gonna have to be quick with muting my mic.
All right.
I will try to get that better next time.
Okay. So, first thing on the list that I have here, number one problem that I have with this volume, in fact, all of RWBY in general, actually, it's very fast and loose with retcons or contrivances throughout this volume when they say one thing, but in past volumes or even World of Remnant itself says something else. Case in point, Aura. In the World of Remnant, which I was led to assume was Word of God or a lore video, like official information, has said that Aura was passive. You didn't need to manually keep it active. But apparently from Ren, we now know you need to have it active at all times. And we also know at a New York Comic Con Q&A via Tumblr that if you don't have Aura, you can't do your semblance. So that this campfire scene or Crow's whole oh my bad luck, I can't turn it off. So if semblances are constantly draining Aura, how does he have Aura? And if his Aura's drained, where then his misfortune or whatever shouldn't be an issue.
Man, no one's ever told him. he actually
Yeah,
like loses
Raven.
his aura, and he's like, "Oh my god,
Yeah, exactly. And then
I'm just rolling doubles all the time, man. I'm going to the casino."
there you go.
By the time he gets there, his shield comes back up. He's like, "No!"
Snake Eyes. House wins.
Fuck.
All on black.
All I'm black.
Red. Shit.
I should curse this RWBY. Second thing on my list, Blake just gets worse. Because they changed her reasoning for running away like 3 times now.
Yeah.
One, she ran because she was afraid. The second time, she ran because she was quote-unquote protecting her friends from Adam, which I'll get to that in a minute. And then in this volume, it's... Shit, what was it?
You talking about her reason that they gave this season for running away?
Yeah.
Didn't she do it to
Oh, now I remember. I was thinking about Blake, but Weiss kind of explained it. She was basically saying, oh, she was protecting us from the White Fang, trying to not get us involved. Meanwhile, I remember in Volume 2, Blake was stressing herself out, running herself ragged, staying up late all night, skipping meals, doing poorly in classes, whatever, looking for the White Fang, because everybody else was dealing with prom.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I can see why they probably did that. They were like seeing how much hate Blake was getting. They were just probably like, well, we gotta fix this somehow. So they retconned her reasons for running away. And I'm one of the few people that remember Volume 2 going, no, that's not what happened. That was not what happened. Coming from a Blake former Blake fan, that says a lot. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Third thing. This show loves to drag its heels. Take its precious time. Everybody, whenever we were criticizing about Volume 4, the reason why we didn't like it is because it took so long for something that should have been done in maybe like a few episodes, 3 to 4 tops. And everyone was assuring me or telling me, oh, it's because they're building up to Volume 5. And apparently all that buildup led to more buildup and led to an anticlimactic finale.
A half-built picket fence, if you will, versus...
Yes. And I jump over that fence. I don't know what that meant. Next item.
Go ahead.
Next item. Everybody said, why is it that aura only works when it needs to? Like, is it just me or, like, the villains, if they ever... Actually, it's not just aura. Let me rephrase that. Things happen in the show not because of consequence or flow or chain of events that lead to stuff. Stuff just happens because it needs to happen. Case in point, Cinder threw the spear, impaled Weiss, and John was like, using his semblance to amplify her aura so she can heal her. Why?
I'm a white mage.
Yeah, exactly. White. Oh, God. Why didn't Cinder just kill Jean right then and there, and then killed Weiss?
I have a better one for you. I think it's going to make you more mad.
Go ahead.
What was Cinder's whole reason for picking that fight instead of going for the relic immediately and leaving her minions to fight? Who was there?
Her, Cinder, Emerald, Mercury.
No, I'm saying Cinder only actually picked that fight and didn't let, Emerald just mindfuck everyone so she could walk away and get the whole thing because of one character being there that we saw her focus on to the point of psychosis and wanting dead. Our pretty little redhead Ruby, who was unconscious nearly 5 feet from Cinder.
Yep. Well,
and yet she threw the spear at Weiss.
Who's probably now the Fall Maiden.
No, she can't be. To answer your questions,
I disagree with that. It's whoever was in your thoughts. First person probably would have been Raven, because she was the one that killed Cinder. But
Cinder's not dead. That's the issue.
Jessica Negri has a contract to voice Cinder all the way up to Volume 8.
Yeah, so Cinder is not dead or dying.
Okay.
Yeah. And to answer your question, Ralph, why she went for Weiss instead and not Ruby, Salem gave Cinder pretty much all her goons explicit orders to capture Ruby, not kill her.
And yet, when she was training, she made her roast Ruby like a fucking marshmallow.
Yep. To fuel the hate that apparently she's not allowed to use.
Yeah, okay. Great writing. Thanks, Miles.
And also, the Silver Eyes, they trained, and the Silver Eyes, Ozpin didn't even try. Like, none. And apparently, Ruby can activate the Silver Eyes. Emerald can just knock her on the head once, and she's out like a light.
Well, to be fair, a solid shot to the back of the head with a blunt object like Emerald's bunt of her gun, that'll knock you the fuck right out. That's physiologically correct. You will get knocked the fuck out with a solid shot to the back of the head.
I know. Doesn't make the Silver Eyes look
that's
powerful.
Fine. I mean, had that scene been choreographed better, I would have enjoyed it more. Because the whole idea of, okay, she's pissed. She's using the Silver Eyes. Cinder is terrified. And then she gets knocked out, and that changes the whole course of the fight. Because up to that point, you're sitting there breathlessly waiting for the Silver Eyes to make an appearance because Cinder's there. Ruby is staring at the person she hates the most right now. And so is Cinder. So it's like, this is going to happen one of two ways. One, it's not going to show at all, or two, it's going to show. And they juked it. They showed, but Emerald pulled her quick speed, gotta go fast attack, and that was it. And then now the biggest threat in the fight is out, so that puts more emphasis on somebody like Weiss and Yang. So I liked that. It would have, but the scene was just choreographed like shit because everybody stops what they're doing, turns, and just stares. And from that point on, it becomes a staring contest until Hazel goes Broly.
Yep.
Also, I will say, to actually throw a positive note, in that scene in particular, there was a emotional performance I truly did enjoy. Miles.
Of course.
During the whole thing with Jean where he's trying to attack Cinder, fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
As far as his acting.
He emoted really well with that scene.
Yes.
Yes, he did.
So.
Should have been Ruby, though.
I disagree.
Especially since Lindsay wanted a moment like that for Ruby.
We have gotten nothing for Ruby's emotional side at all in seasons.
We got, like...
She witnessed Pyrrha die!
And Penny.
And Penny! We've seen her... We got one terrible fucking line. Ruby, how are you? I'm mad.
I'm the mad.
I fucking laughed!
I sarcastically clapped.
I was like, okay, you've angered the fucking stuffed animal, everybody. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
And we've seen her mad before in Volume 3. Leave her alone. When she stabbed the Nevermore. She's been angry before. What was this in Volume 5?
I'm mad. Okay, you're just shooting your gun at nothing. Congrats, nothing happened.
Yep.
It's just there were so many points where they set up a home run for themselves. Like it's like you feel like the scene and the dialogue wrote themselves, and they botched it every time.
Yep.
I hate it because they have done so well in the past with things that are similar. Like the end of season 3 was fucking outstanding.
Roman's
Pyrrha
lines
dying.
were some of the best.
It was so good. And the pacing of season 1 and 2, while not the best, was still so good. And it's just like season 4 was a lot of exposition. We grew to accept that. It needed to happen. It wasn't great, but there was a lot of things that needed to be explained. But then season 5 comes around, and guess what? Nothing that was explained in season 5 matters. Nothing. Season 4 matters.
Nope. Kuro's semblance, not an issue, even though that was the whole reason why he kept his distance from Ruby.
His whole family! His whole family,
which Raven apparently still kept in contact with him, because she said he and her were like the best warriors in the tribe, and they went to Beacon Academy. Why Beacon and not Haven, I don't know. And to learn how to kill Huntsman. That went nowhere.
Yeah, well, no, apparently went somewhere because there was a lot of dead huntsmen.
Yeah, but that was.
I know. I'm just making a joke. Like, oh yeah, Haven, a lot of dead people. Oh, there's Raven. Did you kill them too? That would have been good for Crow to accuse her.
Yeah, that would have been good, but it wasn't her.
How much more you got in your list? Because now I think about it, I have 2 things to complain about.
You know what? You go ahead. I'll be here all night.
First one. For those that have heard me talk about different things here and there in the podcast, know that I'm a sucker for good action and good choreography. Dragon Ball Super, which I chuckled versus when you said like things just happen because they need to. I chuckled in my head. I'm like, RWBY has gone super. Like that's really basically with powers and stuff. That's what they're doing.
Holy crap, you're right.
But there were so many times in this volume where they were setting up a fight and then cut away. So many.
Yeah.
So many. Some of them too were even like just that was stupid as like the setup for it. The one that pops into my head immediately is when the White Fang are attacking Blake's parents' house. And
oh my god!
Blake freezes the brothers in an ice clone. And then she goes to run off and find their mom. And Sun and Gira are facing off with them. And the other two are just sitting there with their hands frozen, slowly melting the clone. And then they're just like standing up. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Go and knock them out.
Exactly.
Like, that infuriated me. Just because, okay, you want the stare off? Just have them break the fucking clone. Like, just break out of it and then have the stare off. Don't trap them and just look at him and be like, you know what? We want a clean little fisticuffs going on right here. I'll wait. Don't you worry.
Don't you worry.
Be nice and clean. Let me
We
just
know how to
polish
show.
my claws. Reload your shotgun gunchucks.
Hold
there,
on.
son.
We need more Gira flexing scenes. That's why that was there. We need more Gira flexing.
He wasn't even flexing. He was just standing. Like, don't even give him that much credit, man. Like, oh,
They can't afford flexing.
that
It's not in their budget.
there was
It's not
just
in
so
their budget.
many times, and this happened in Volume 4 too, where just like there was a
Yep.
scene of them stopping and looking in the middle of a fight, when it's just like, why are you doing this right now?
Oh, so you couldn't stand the final few episodes, huh?
No.
This was something I saw earlier, and this is how bad that editing for the final fight at Haven was. Hazel was going to attack Ospen, and he was going to do a downward strike with his right arm in one scene, but Crow slides in to block the shot. Then Hazel somehow shifts his body to do another downward strike with his left hand, and when you cut to Crow, when it looks like he's gonna block it, Hazel
He goes
somehow
flying to Uganda. Yeah.
he was flying to Uganda because Hazel did a lower strike on a Crow's back and sent him to
Yeah.
Uganda.
A rising uppercut to fucking Crow's spine to send him to Mars. Like, the choreography is just trash.
The editing in that thing, and that whole entire scene was bad too.
There were a few times where I'm like, okay, this is good. The Cinder Raven fight, fine.
I love that fight.
That's where all of their budget went.
A segment of the Sun versus, I believe it was Ilya, when the gunchucks finally returned.
Yes.
Fine. Like, there were certain moments where I was just like, okay, this is the person who did the trailers, especially the Weiss trailer. This is that person. I can tell.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are other
Yep.
points where, again, it was just like, ugh. Just
Yeah.
again, just like it's like what you mentioned with just the weird editing inconsistencies, just things that don't make sense, and that stuff glares out to me. It's the same
yeah.
way how I feel about the Dark Knight fight scenes and how dudes are running at people with running at Batman trying to hit them with the butt of their assault rifles from 20 feet away. It's like that doesn't make sense. It's stupid. And there's a lot of times I was watching this, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. It's stupid. And yeah, like
There were a lot of things that they could have done differently with this volume, but for whatever reason, they just didn't.
and this is going to get to my main point, and I think this goes with the choreography in that the writing, some of it, in all honesty, I can forgive. Some of it to me was no better nor worse than the first two volumes. So I don't really blame the writing, in all honesty. There could have been some punch-ups here and there, but overall, I think you could have had the same writing and improve what I'm going to say. The directing. That is where I think the main flaw with this volume is. The directing was weak, in all honesty, and I know Carey works himself ragged, but it was lacking.
Yeah.
A director should notice the editing inconsistencies. They should frame the fight. They should storyboard it and go over with those people. And one of the problems that I think they're having with their fights was in the first 2.5 volumes, because a lot of the fights were already laid out by Monty for Volume 3. For the fight scenes in their DVD commentaries, what they said they would do is once they would get to a big fight scene, the literal note was, Monty does cool shit. Monty was the one who orchestrated, storyboarded, created all of it. All the fight scenes. now that he's gone, it's on the rest of the directing team in order to choreograph and storyboard those fight scenes. And they're just flat out currently not good at it.
You know what's
not
sad?
at all.
And
what's
then,
sad?
I mean...
What's that?
Go ahead.
I'll let Mike finish.
I was going to say, so now Cary has to divert resources in his own mental capacity onto that, as well as helping co-write, as well as directing the regular scenes and all of that. So I think just that burden has
It's too much.
Has affected the overall quality of the product. They have to balance out the writing, the storytelling, and trying to do all this stuff. And just in the middle of RWBY seasons, his tweets, you can tell he just is not right.
They mention it on
No.
Rooster Teeth as well. Like Michael Jones, the voice of
Son.
on Off Topic, he's mentioned that he's seen Cary and he looks ragged. I don't know the exact quote, but yeah, they notice how he is over there. Like he's lost weight even. And I'm thinking it's because of the work of his work schedule.
Yeah, it's the crunch. That's essentially what's going on for him. And here's the thing, and this has always been the problem with RWBY once Monty was gone. Monty had the heart and soul and drive to literally go 8 days without sleep, food, or rest, and he could power out the highest quality stuff. Like, the man had so much talent, drive, and just oomph to him that he could run on dream power alone.
One of his big things, and it's I heard the term first coined on, it was like the DVD commentary of Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. Monty was a big proponent of the rule of cool. For those that don't know what that means, it's that you can show something ridiculous on screen, but if it's cool enough to where you don't care, then that's fine. And Monty did that a lot. I mean, the food fight scene, let's be honest, was completely fucking ridiculous. But it was
fucking...
it was fun. It was fun and ridiculous. And, like, he would do certain things, and, like, I think they're trying to retcon it now. But, like, I remember in the DVD commentary for Volume 1, when Penny slices the two Harriers in half with her, like, Omega laser, Miles flips out because he was pissed. Because he's like, they're not supposed to be that strong yet. And Monty's just sitting there laughing like a fucking idiot.
I remember seeing a tweet earlier, speaking of those two. Miles was doing, and he's doing it a lot now, he's getting a lot sentimental, saying things like, oh, wow, we've created this character, RWBY, and she's essentially immortal. She's going to live on far longer than any of us. And Monty responds with saying, gay!
Monty didn't think is, and this is what I think is the biggest obstacle for people when it comes to creating something. And as somebody who's trying to write a book on themselves here, I've noticed this. It's hard to get past this. You have to be able to look at something with the lens of, this is fun. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy the idea that I can see this in my head, and through what I'm doing, I can put the exact scene verbatim from my head to someone else's.
It's not easy.
It's not, but from what I've been seeing post Monty, they don't have anyone with that mindset. I think Cary, I think Miles has a knack for doing like good. He's good as Jean. He is a good Jean, and from his scenes aren't bad.
So,
but
the thing is with Miles,
he's good at forming. He's good at forming things, and Cary as a director is, again, I think he's a good director, but he's spread too thin. I'm not getting the feeling that they're enjoying making RWBY.
I think
I would agree to that.
I think they are, just from some of the stuff I've seen from their last RTX panels. I think they are.
No, they like doing it, but I don't think it's a passion for them anymore. I think it's more of a job. because I'm not seeing in anything, any scene, any dialogue, I'm not seeing them take chances with things to be fun. I'm seeing hyper formulaic shit ad nauseum. The thing was, with Monty, you could tell, like, again, he was the rule of cool, and the thing is, he liked doing things to make it feel alive. Everything seems like it's super stiff now. There's no, oh, you know what? This would be really cool and really sweet for this to happen with RWBY, or for this to happen with Yang while she's in this scene. Like, there's no spur of the moment, like, oh man, you know what this scene needs? This scene needs this. It's just, no, they play it super safe, super downplayed, and super formulaic, and it's hurting it, because there's no fun. I haven't had fun watching RWBY since the end of season 3.
Some of the stuff, in all honesty, though, was from Monty. Like, we give shit about the maidens, but that was one of the last things Monty wanted in the show. So that's on Monty.
The maidens are fine. It's just they need to be fleshed out more, and they haven't been.
This is how I view the whole maiden thing with Monty and all them. I know that at Studio Ghibli, like Miyazaki, nearly every movie he's ever made, his original stuff, not the Lupin ones, he would always write the storyboards first and make the plot up as he went along. His whole entire goal was, how do I make this movie or the animations feel more and more alive? He never really had a script. And that's something, oh, now I remember, Devilman was also doing that, the original mangaka.
Yep.
He made stuff up as he went, up until he had an idea on how he wanted the series to end. I feel like Monty was doing the exact same thing. He probably had some semblance of an idea of what he wanted to do. Yeah. He knew where he wanted to go, but he didn't know how to get there. But he trekked along anyway.
Come.
Yeah, he knew it'll come. What I see as the problem with Miles and Carrie is they probably don't like that. I think it's a shift in how production is done. They want, because we're seeing it now, we're seeing with retcons and contrivances or plot lines that were never hinted at before, but now were suddenly coming out of left field. Miles and Carrie are trying to construct something out of nothing, and the only one that seems able to do that was Monty himself. Like what was Cinder's original goal before, if the maidens were not a thing in volumes 1 and 2? And I don't think Miles and Carrie have an answer or had an answer at the time. Monty probably kept that close to the chest. We're told that, Ozpin was cursed by the gods because he failed to stop Salem. Well, if he's failed to stop Salem multiple times, why hasn't Salem won yet? I'm thinking it's stuff like this. Monty had some idea of where to want to go, but only he knew. And Miles and Carrie are trying their best to make something out of that nothing. And I don't think Miles is up to the task, in all honesty.
See, the thing is, I think Miles could be. And I point to his chorus trilogy in Red vs. Blue, which was fantastic. He wrote a fantastic 3 seasons of Red vs. Blue.
I know people that would disagree with that. But I haven't watched
those 3 seasons. I feel like he did an amazing job. He introduced some fun characters, did some fun things with them, had some, he kept with the dramedy aspect of it. He had some fantastic dramatic moments in Red vs. Blue as well. Action choreography was but Monty was off the project at that point. He was doing RWBY.
Right.
I have a small theory on that, because I've heard that brought up as well. I think what the problem we're having is not that the talent isn't there. I'm not ever saying that about Miles or Carrie. They've both shown that they have the ability to do what needs to be done. I think that the loss of Monty from this project has done irreparable harm to their ability to see RWBY in the way they'll see a Red versus Blue season. It's something that they're terrified of getting wrong. I think that the pressure of not having Monty around, having lost him, and now that RWBY is so popular and that it was his thing, I think that even subconsciously, they have like a block that they can't get past, and it's been hurting them. I honestly think that what needs to happen is that when it comes down to the directing and writing, they need more. They need to let Carrie and Miles take a step back,
especially Carrie,
because they worked again. They sat on the couch with Monty. They planned things. They talked about things. And his loss on the project has kind of left them winded. Now, if what they said before about having, you know, an entire notebook of Monty's notes for how this series is going to play out, then just about anybody could go with this and take the ideas in there and try to make it work in some way, shape, or form. And if you let Miles and Carrie maybe put their 2 cents into a discussion in like a round table event, that would be enough. But I can't shake the feeling, based on the fact, again, they do succeed in their other projects. I think there's a psychological block with Monty not being around anymore.
I think a real good test of that theory will be Genlock.
That's what I'm trying to say. The trailer looked like it was pretty fucking competent. Like I can't argue with the trailer.
That's because Gray's doing all the writing and directing that. It's his vision.
Okay, so it's Gray. It's not Miles and Carrie.
No, they have nothing to do with it.
Okay, so there you go, Mike.
I'm just saying as a company-wide thing, though.
Oh, I'm not talking about company. I'm just talking about, you know, we've seen Miles and Carrie do great work in other things. When it comes to RWBY, though, it seems like it's like they're running in circles. They're running this scared in a way. Because when you see things get really linear, like again, I use the word a lot, but there is no better word to sum up season 4 and season 5 of RWBY. It's formulaic. Like you can beat a hammer to what's going to happen here, and it'll stay in line with the beat. It doesn't change. It's just a matter of I honestly think there's a mental block. I'm not a psychologist. I can't tell you of what reasoning or what. I feel that based on how things have been, that I think the loss of Monty, whether from having his talent work on it, or having someone to bounce their ideas off of, or have somebody to rely on to do like the cool work, something is causing them to just not have it all for this project, and it's hurting RWBY. Like again, they can go with Red vs. Blue and kick ass. They can go with something else and kick ass. But RWBY, there's just like, oh, would Monty do this? Would Monty do that? Would Monty be okay with this? Is this what Monty wanted? Is this what he meant by this? I think basing it off of what they feel like Monty wanted is hurting the project. That took me way long to get to. I apologize.
No, that's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's just as somebody again. I'm not experienced at creating. I've only started doing it the past year and a half. But just based off of that, I thinking about it, I would be terrified to step into Miles or Carrie's place.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Fuck having big shoes to fill. With the view of the crowd, Monty's a god.
You're stepping into their shoes, which are inside a ginormous other pair of shoes.
Exactly. I couldn't even picture that.
And it's surrounded by rabid fans.
Yeah, it's like this isn't your child, and the man whose child this was is gone. You don't know the groundwork that was laid here. You don't see the grand scheme of things the way he did. You can't explain that. Like Versus, for instance, you've wrote a lot of stories. You've shared a lot of your information on these things with me. But if I took that and went my own way, actually no, we've done this. You've given me your idea and a baseline, and I've built on that. But neither of our stories would ever fully connect in the way either of us saw in the end. Your world and my world are two different worlds. So without Monty there, the world of RWBY, it's fractured. And I think that's what's causing a lot of the stress. Is like Miles and Carrie have to second guess themselves. They have to by practice because they worked with Monty. If they hadn't worked with Monty and they could just say, okay, this is the direction we have to take. This is how he envisioned the plot. Let's take it like this. There's no second guessing. There's no wiggle room. There's just, okay, let's go like this. And they work it. I can't shake the feeling that it's Monty's ghost is essentially haunting this.
All right.
It's pretty funny, too, looking at... Did you guys look at the comments for the finale at all?
I have not.
No.
How a bunch of people were saying, like, this seemed very underwhelming, this seemed very underwhelming, this seemed very underwhelming, basically. And Rooster Teeth's comment system, they have, like, a rating thing where it was, like, +1 zing, +1 ditto, +1 cool, and, like, then there's -1 noob, -1 flame bait, -1, like, just other things.
Yep.
So you could positively rate it something or negatively rate it something. Every single comment that was, this seemed very underwhelming, was plussed with ditto or cool. And every comment that showed people that actually liked this season was a minus. I was like, ooh.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
That ain't good.
More and more people are being critical of RWBY after Volume 3. As I saw somebody on Reddit pretty much ask, why is it that RWBY Reddit or whatever is becoming more critical, whatever happened to the show being fun? And one Redditor put it best when he said, that's because the kid gloves are off. The show, like Volumes 1, 2, and the first half of 3 were all fun. And that was it. It was just lighthearted and fun. Now, we're talking things like a woman that can control creatures that are a spawn of darkness. We're talking about family members being killed, children being killed.
Literally, children killed on screen.
Yes. And so, like that guy said, the kid gloves are off. So we're going to take this show more seriously because it's asking us to take it more seriously. You can't just, like, look at Hazel or Adam, for that matter, assassinate the leader of his organization and just smile and clap your hands going, oh, wow, this is fun. You don't do that. You just don't.
Yay, insurrection! Woohoo!
Yay, regicide!
Yay!
Yay!
Boy, was that a letdown.
I want to talk about one more letdown before I do at the end of this. Want to go over things I did actually enjoy about the season, but
I'll do that too.
But I think for me, save for the directing and that, as far as just like character notes and that, Adam.
Oh boy!
Wow.
Two-dimensional as hell.
They
Was
set him up
flat.
as this threat. He kills a very interesting new character, which we discussed before. Completely hostilely takes over the White Fang.
Yep.
Shows up for about 5 minutes, gets the police called on him, and then books it.
Runs like a bitch.
Runs away.
Like, we're talking a man who can cut a giant military-grade robot in half. We're talking about somebody who literally cut Yang's arm off while she was traveling at hyperspeed. You're telling me he can't dive through that crowd of trash can shield-bearing faunus? Are you serious?
And what happened to the White Fang army that he brought? Was that group all he brought with him? What was he going to do after the bombs went off? Why didn't he...
Us 5 got it. We're good.
There's just a lot of things in the scene that... Oh, I'm sorry, Mike. Go on ahead.
That was basically, I mean, like that. Just how pathetic he was against Blake.
Yeah, Blake
He
one-shots
got
him.
knocked the fuck out. He got knocked the fuck out.
You know, like, it's fine, have her come up, but, like,
Put
still,
effort into it.
you made him look like a bitch in the process. And this isn't, like, a sexist thing. This is just, like, this character was built up, and then that happens.
Okay. On that note, I have something. I read this. I won't take credit for this realization, but it is brilliant. Let's face it. This entire season has done nothing but make the entire cast of villains, the entire theme of villains in this series mean nothing.
They're written to fail.
It's exactly we are up to season 5. We are made to believe that Salem is this great threat, and the people who work for her are these monsters who will obliterate us. Tyrion showed that this was a real threat, a real problem when Crow, the hyper experienced, strong, Ozpin's right hand man, struggled to really deal with him.
Thanks for getting him poisoned.
That exactly, but it took that little bit of bad luck, that accident, to take that fight down, to take Crow down. But throughout that entire fight, you weren't entirely sure Crow was going to win anyway. Tyrion was a very well choreographed fight. That was good.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But this entire season, okay, let me start with Raven, because this is the biggest sin of them all. We're told that these people are dangerous. They're an outlying force that shouldn't be messed with, shouldn't be screwed with. Yada yada. Even Salem's worried about going up against them. She's hunting them down. Literally 5 seconds into the season, and it's nope. They can be found just by visiting some bar. Nope. They can. Nope. Cinder's walking right up to the gate and just okay, fine. It's over. They're teaming up. It's like, why? And then we've got Cinder's group. Not Cinder's group. Salem's entire group. We've got that hidden, very soft-spoken, almost too kind to be evil, villain with Hazel, and we're like, okay, this can't be good. We just lost Versus.
Oh. He will join.
Sorry, everybody.
Continue with your thought.
But yeah, we have Hazel, who ends up, again, just being a steroid. That's it. He just steroids up and has rage outs. Nothing happens. He's easily countered. There's nothing that you can just run away from him. That's it. Cinder is a threat because she's a maiden, but in the end, what is she really? What did we see here? Nothing. She was baited around by a bunch of kids. All of them are beaten. They're getting beaten by kids who haven't even gone through their second year of training. The second year of training, they haven't completed it yet. And yet we have Weiss trashing them. We have Yang trashing them. We have Ruby trashing them. Just there is no world in which kids from school in their second year should be a real threat.
First year.
No, Yang and Blake were in year 2, I believe, right?
No, that was Team Coffee. They're all.
Oh yeah, you're right. I was fusing together because hey, characters we don't see ever again. But
we'll see them again when they go back to Beacon.
Oh yeah, at the end, yeah, it's gonna end up back at Beacon. True.
Yep.
But it's the entire season has just destroyed any belief that these villains are threats.
Yes, I agree. Or I should care. Because even then, Ozpin says he was cursed. I said it before, because he failed to stop Salem in the past, and yet humanity is still around. So, in what way did he fail? What was Salem going to do? And we're not given that answer.
We had a moon colony! The moon was populated by a lot of people! She blew it up!
She was a vampire.
What?
She was a vampire.
God help me.
Yeah.
It's hard to take the show seriously anymore because it's just we're forced to believe that this nonsense is real. These people are a threat. Salem is a threat. Why? She has done nothing in 5 seasons.
She killed a guy with a jellyfish. That's
exactly.
About it.
That's it. We saw Lionheart, the most
can
pathetic.
Control Metroids. She is Mother Brain.
Oh my god, it is a Metroid. Oh my god, I didn't even think about that.
You know what, Mike? You deserve points for that one.
Hey.
God.
If she
Just-
actually turned into a fucking freaky brain creature, I'd be so happy.
I mean, it's kind of what her design is. She's just a hot brain.
Yeah.
Let's fucking be honest here. It's a bunch of gray matter with red lines.
What kind of porn were you looking at, man? That's my
Fan
question.
art. It's called the fan group that Drew has me, and you'd be surprised some of the art they share.
Oh yeah. You'd be surprised.
Like, where is this the sense of dread, the fear, the build up to this climactic battle with Salem? We have literally seen her do nothing, absolutely nothing, and we're forced to take this hallucination as a measure of of the threat at the end. Like, Ozpin is shaken. He's like, it's a hallucination, a good and convincing one, but I'm like, wait, what? What do you fucking mean? She's not that tall. She doesn't stretch. She's not elastic. We've not seen any of this. What the fuck are you talking about?
She's not the Keishan from Soul Eater.
Yeah, this is. It's like when
She's not the weird cat lady from The Grudge.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Someone needs to put a sound effect of that on that scene.
Yes,
I know a guy that can make that happen.
please do.
I'll
But-
let him know.
It's like when in the earlier seasons when Salem can just be the one in the shadowy villains, great. But this season we should have seen her do something, because the whole thing with Lionheart, that was the perfect opportunity. Like let him escape to her, let him find her, and have her just melt the motherfucker with her mind. Anything, something. Show me at the end of this season, because now. We know Raven's a maiden. There's a maiden on the good side. We know RWBY can at least somewhat trigger Silver Eyes without real training. They have a relic. Show us the villain is worth something. Worth all of this.
Make her put effort into whatever she's doing.
Make us think that there is something to this. Because right now, there's nothing.
Also, what is it about her? How did Lionheart meet her? Like, does she travel from wherever she is to our world? Does she interact with people, and that's how she gets followers? Do something with that.
Or are people just afraid of giant floating squids?
Metroid,
Like-
man. Don't fuck with
Metroids. Yes, like that's
Metroids.
it. Your Grace. Wait, so do you just bow to this squid thing? Like, do you think that's Salem? Guess what, friend? That ain't her.
Yeah.
Just saying. Like, you're afraid of the squid, but do you know what she looks like? No? Cool. Good to know.
Well, she has shown her face on the Metroid before.
On the Metroid 2.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
Met
you're right.
2.
I forgot about that little fact. The hologram fucking Metroid ability.
Which makes me wonder, why didn't the White Fang on Menagerie use that? I thought the CCT was down. How did Adam send that holographic message? Via, carrier?
Pigeon.
Pigeon Faunus.
Yeah,
Pigeon
sounds
Faunus!
like-
Oh yeah, there is a Pigeon
I
Faunus,
literally was
though.
going to say that carrier pigeon faunus. Oh, okay. I just remembered. Fucking letdown of a character. Lanny Pator's bat faunus. Looked
Oh
fucking
my-
cool. Did nothing. Continue.
He crashed through the ceiling and then crashed 6 feet under.
Yep. He jumped through a window, and Kali just takes a tray, knocks him out.
Yeah. Get out of my house, ding!
What is this, Tom and Jerry? What's wrong?
Exactly. Like, God.
All right.
Like, I wanted to see Blake's parents do cool shit. Just, my God.
Yeah.
So,
All right, Mike.
positive things I want to go over. I enjoyed that Yang wasn't all there this season. Whenever she would fight, hands were shaking. Fine, good. They didn't do anything
Yeah.
with it, but I enjoyed that they actually were showing it.
They tried to show that she still got that PTSD strong shit going on.
Yes, which I was hoping that she would fucking see Adam. That was one thing that total letdown.
And now we know he's not a threat anymore, so
Yeah.
just punch him once and he's out.
Yep. The gunchucks returning. Super happy about that. It's just like, why haven't you done this sooner? A lot of
The budget.
people were bitchy and snappy about it. I fucking enjoyed that Ilya is
LGBT.
LGBT. I enjoyed it.
So did I.
Yeah.
How about the super bait at the end, though? With her and Yang. I'm sorry, I'm not getting past that.
I actually saw a podcast and they spent like 30 minutes going nuts over Bumblebee, and then the other 30 minutes they were just like, oh yeah, this episode was a letdown.
It's a bait. It's just bait.
Yep.
It's annoying. I want to. I like Ilya as a character. I think she's actually really one of the best they've written.
She's the Blake that we thought we were gonna get.
Yeah, the Blake we thought we were going to get. But if this Yang Blake Ilya triangle thing actually comes to fruition,
sir, you're
You
forgetting
forgot Sun.
one person. Sun. It's a quadrangle.
It's a square.
Yeah.
I don't. I know it will probably end up that way, which is so unearned. It's not even funny. But
Yeah.
I could easily see Sun falling into the infinite friend zone and being fine with it. Like, it might end up one of those, I respect Blake, so she's a friend. It was never like that thing happening. I can see that twist being thrown in, and I wouldn't even be shocked or even, like, angry with it. Because it's kind of been obscured a little bit. Like, he really likes Blake. We don't really have an indication of how much yet. It's kind of ambiguous. So I could see and accept that. But what has me really annoyed was the almost forced moments where Yang just stares longingly at Blake or is furious because she's not here because I need her here. Like that conversation, I paused, I leaned back in my chair, and I just went, this is happening.
Yep.
But I
don't understand where that relationship's coming from. Would have been nice to use Beacon as a way to explore those relationships, but nope.
I genuinely hope it's not the way it's being portrayed.
We
will
so
see,
too.
but God help all.
Okay, but continuing positive things.
Sorry.
John Semblance! Yay! Finally showed up!
He has one,
Yeah.
but it's bullshit. I don't have a good thing to say about this. It's bullshit.
His power is Kaioken, but he can make other people have Kaioken.
It's like he's a natural Kaioken. And then he's just like, no, what my semblance is I can use my infinite aura ability to enhance others' aura, which creates a natural healing field. So I'm just a giant buff on 2 legs.
He also could
Yeah!
He also could create shields.
I fucking laughed my ass off when he's like, are you healing her? I'm like, yes, cool. He's a healer. And it's like, no, I'm pretty sure I'm just strengthening her aura. And I'm like, fuck! No!
Don't stop, John, as I remove your hands from Weiss.
that scene! Don't stop! Healing stops. What'd I say? Oh my god, I have so many problems with that entire sequence. It's not even funny.
My biggest problem with that sequence is after she took his hands off of Weiss, he was still amplifying her aura. So that means he doesn't have to physically touch somebody to amplify the aura. So what's the range?
Again, he's a legitimate white mage.
Either that or it's just a fucking error in consistency. I don't want to dig too deep into that.
Well, too late. I'm neck deep in this thing. There's no helping me.
The Raven Cinder fight was good.
Oh, that was baller.
There was
not
good.
a bad part of that.
Jeff Williams.
Made RWBY fun again.
Jeff Williams kicks in. Like, that's what I was waiting for. This whole goddamn season was awesome fight scene with Jeff Williams. Took until the second to last episode, which was one episode longer than a normal season.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
And I absolutely love, it's a small detail, but I love that the blades broke. And it just shows how quick and skilled they are. Like, Cinder, she could conjure up more blades. Raven, she can, I don't know the name of the technique that samurai use to draw their swords, but she could just do that repeatedly over and over in the middle of a fight, as opposed to having to stop for a few seconds. and draw a new blade each and every time. It reminded me of Archer.
Kenshin.
Yeah, it also
Bato
reminded me
Jutsu.
of...
It's called Bato Jutsu, by the way.
Oh, okay.
That's
that.
why Kenshin has the name Batosai. It's part of the name.
It's
I read that manga like 12 fucking times.
quick draw technique, basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just a lot of slash.
Which is one of actually, if I remember right, one of the best sword techniques because really strong.
Raven's a badass.
So
I have mixed feelings on her, but she's a badass.
So that the whole like just from an art aesthetic, the setup of the vault and inside the vault, the door itself too, awesome art direction, awesome design. I just didn't care about. I had
what
no
was happening in
emotional investment in the actual scene and what was happening. And I enjoyed the like downtime sit down scenes. Drunk Crow.
Drunk. There's nothing. I have yet to meet anybody that hates Drunk Crow.
So, and just like little performances here and there that I did enjoy. But as I have described another show, this volume was a season of moments. I have described 2 other shows like this: Sword Art Online and Dragon Ball Super.
Trash.
That's not a good thing to say.
No.
It's
No,
it's fine that I've found some things to enjoy, but there's not a lot of investment for me to continue watching. And it's the thing, like I want this, like all the stuff we've been saying, all the negative stuff. We want the show to succeed. We really like the show. Like,
more than anything. I love it.
One of the things I like about Rooster Teeth and just that company is I enjoy... One of the things that I have noticed about the stuff that I'm watching recently, the Game Grumps, different Achievement Hunter videos, Critical Role, is I enjoy watching friendships on screen. I've noticed that now. Just like some of my favorite moments from the Game Grumps or from Critical Role is like when they all do something, they're all laughing with each other and what have you. And by extension, I like it that this was a show originally created with friends. RWBY started off with Monty, Carrie, Miles, and like 2 or 3 other editors or animators. It was a very small team, and it was just a bunch of friends who wanted to make this really cool show. And like that's why back then like things were more easily forgiven and they were fun but as Versus said, they got to a point in the show where they wanted to have the turn. They wanted it to be like, okay, the kid gloves are off. And with that comes higher expectations. And you hope that the production grows with the tone. And it just seems to not be quite there yet.
No.
And we want it to be. We really want it to be.
Yeah, we do.
There's the funny thing too is like of the many 3D animated shows, anime, what have you, RWBY's one of the best looking. You go to some of the shows that have been on Netflix, and Berserk.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
RWBY looks so much better than all those different shows, just from an aesthetic, how they combine traditional 2D paintings and backdrops with 3D animation to make scenes look very good aesthetically. Like they look good.
Yeah.
In fact, I think I think it's the same company. Like I don't remember the animation company's name, but they're the ones who recently did the 3D Godzilla movie that just came out, which
I
looks
think that was A1 Pictures, actually.
okay. And they were the ones who did like some of the early Netflix series that just looked really stiff and really weird, and they're just kind of starting to finally catch up as far as making the animation and stuff look good and look better. And I've just seen previews of the Godzilla movie. It's on Netflix now. I need to watch it, but it looks really good.
And I watched it for a little bit, but I didn't finish it because my nieces came over.
Mhm.
But I will say this about Godzilla: some of the animations are pretty stiff, and some of the shading, like how that works, is also unnatural. But the facial animations of like one scene for the main character, I won't go into spoilers, but he's looking out upon something with like horror and traumatized over it, and the facial animations was good. But yeah, it's kind of stiff.
Okay, that's how a lot of those other previous animations were. But there's improvement, and they are catching up.
Yeah, they've learned from Berserk.
Yeah, no fucking South Park walk animations.
Jesus.
Oh boy. But yeah, bottom line, we want the show to be good.
I want it to succeed. Like the success it's gotten over the years. I couldn't be happier for it. Like it's amazing. Just please understand that if there is a problem somewhere in this development team, address it now. For the love that you're still in the stages where things can be fixed. Things can still be fixed.
And they're going to Atlas, where Ironwood's getting more and more paranoid. There's a lot of things they can do with that.
There's so much they can still fix.
You got two paranoid people. You got Ironwood and you got the Schnees.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Imagine if they worked together and you had to operate in Mantle to sneak into Atlas because borders are closed.
Yeah.
There's a lot you can do.
There is so much there's so much retconning that can be adjusted and fixed. There is so many pieces of dialogue that have explained things that can be furthered to make more sense. There can be a lot of things that we saw in the past that are still questioning that can be very easily answered and just dealt with. Please just find where this strain is in this development cycle. Fix it. This is the time. Please. Like, I hope this isn't a case where, Miles and Carrie are just being stubborn and they feel like they can handle all this work, or they're being forced to because nobody wants to hire help. Like, this to succeed, to continue to succeed, you need to have somebody step back a bit and some people step forward. Like, others have to step forward to help out.
They need more writers in that writer room, more eyes on the script. That way, if there's ever a problem, while Carrie and Miles probably don't see it, the third or maybe fourth or even fifth person could go.
They have other writers. I just feel like I feel like Miles and Carrie, both of them, have too much that they have to deal with, and it's making them make bad calls. I think that they need to either spread out the workload a lot more than they do, or just put somebody in control, it's oversight even above Miles and Carrie. There needs to be somebody who isn't as stressed out all the time, who's making final judgment calls, because that's never a recipe for success.
What I'm thinking they probably should do with RWBY, since, everybody says it's an anime, but I'm not going to get into that. What I think that...
It is.
Well, yeah, it's... Never mind, we're not...
Whatever, yeah, fuck it, go.
Yeah. I think what would probably benefit RWBY is that instead of it being year by year, maybe they should do what Hellsing Ultimate did, which was an OVA series. High quality, polished, higher budget.
They can't do that. They could not do that. I see what you mean. I see what you're saying. But let's be honest too, the community would never allow it.
You're right, they won't.
They need a yearly release cycle for this.
Yeah,
because they have a demand to fill. It's a series. And the entire fan base would fucking implode and just lose their shit if it wasn't coming out year by year.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like, I'd love a RWBY, just an hour and a half long RWBY just movie. I'd love it, but they couldn't do it.
Give it one more volume. Maybe that tune will change.
Again, yeah, exactly. If what's wrong isn't fixed and we just see more, cracks in the wall, the dam's gonna break next season. If they don't fix what's wrong, there's going to be an outpouring of what the fuck are you doing? Because right now it's, this wasn't like, what was this? What the hell? next season they can either fix it or it's going to be, what the fuck?
Yep. Volume 4, there was like a crack, but this volume, that crack spread, and if they don't adjust things early, like you said, the dam's gonna burst.
Yeah, there's water straight spraying out of the cracks right now.
Yep.
Like
I
people
would
are
I would
pissed.
even go with maybe not even necessarily an OVA series, where you release Genlock this year, it has success, and then every other year,
Alternating time.
Genlock RWBY.
I could even
Genlock
agree with
RWBY,
that.
Genlock RWBY.
I could
would
agree
like
with that.
too.
But we both know that won't happen.
I know.
Yep. The fans won't let it.
Yeah.
Small studio, but make 5 shows each year.
Or
If they
fucking RWBY Chibi. Like, go back and forth with that shit too. That won't
fuck
happen.
Ruby Chibi.
But yes.
I just they need new people in new roles because there's too much.
Yeah.
There's just too much on their plates.
If nothing else, don't rotate the shows, rotate the staff.
No. You can't straight do that.
Oh.
Because you have to keep people who have an idea and who are practiced at this exact thing, and let them continue to do it.
Well, they got
You just
people.
need to not stress them the fuck out. So you need new people or someone who is just literally their job is to just direct or just make calls on the writing, just decide on storyboarding. Like there has to be somebody whose only job is to make sure that a quality check per se.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, have Carrie take a break for a year and somebody step into director's shoes.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Like-
yeah, I wouldn't say take a full break. I'd say just take a step back. Like, advise, not control.
Right. Yeah,
Because
I can agree to that.
it just seems like it's impossible to do something and make it and enjoy it. It's literally, there is no way it's possible to do something and enjoy it when you are stressed to the fucking limit. You're going to make the wrong decision. You're going to fuck up here and there.
Well, it's not so much make the wrong decision. It's something's gonna make a decision for you, and you're not gonna like it.
That's kind of like what I mean. That is a wrong decision in my book. So that's just my definition coming across wrong there. But it's there's too much on their plates, and it's the wrong people to have too much on their plates. It's like the people at the top can't have 8 million things they're responsible for. Like they need to be able to focus on their most necessary roles and complete it.
All
So,
right.
Mike, got any other positive things you like? That dead air.
Nope. Not that I can think of.
That sums it all up.
Anything from you guys that I didn't mention?
Nothing.
I really enjoyed the Raven and Cinder fight. That was legitimately fun. I liked the camera work for it. I liked how it reminded me of Unlimited Blade Works in a way, before that went to crap. And that's about all I can say.
So yes, that is RWBY, or I was about to say Volume 2. This is our RWBY cast round 2. And we were gonna do a middle one, but we
Things just did not work out.
Yeah.
Yeah, things did not work out.
But
Yeah, adulting is not fun and or easy.
oh yes,
Yeah.
huzzah!
We can buy shit. We
Yeah.
don't have time to use that shit.
Yes, there's that.
Yeah, we can buy shit. Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah,
I'm
sure,
gonna-
whatever.
I'm gonna
Oh,
be.
sorry.
Hey, you're not adulting yet. You're in college.
That is true.
Fuck that. I work while going to school.
You're older than me, but you're not adulting yet.
Fuck that. I've been adulting longer than you.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to this episode of this little side episode of the podcast of stuff. We will be back need to double check. We're probably gonna. I think the Comp Bros aren't gonna be leaving on Wednesday, so we'll probably still be streaming on Wednesday. And they are going to be here this coming weekend at my place, so we might do something. Maybe get Ralph in a call as well, and we'll see what goes on. All I know is we're gonna be playing a lot of fucking Fighter Z. That's all I know. And
we can record them watching you play PUBG.
I'm going to get my ass kicked playing Fighter Z. And then I'm gonna switch to ARMS, and then win maybe 2 rounds until BG figures it out, and then proceeds to beat the shit out of me.
Just starts beating you with Beerus constantly.
Oh. Yeah.
Pudding!
I really liked Beerus when I was playing him in the demo. He was fun. Okay, thank you everybody for tuning in.
Yes.
We will see you
Later!
next time. Bye-bye.
Adios.